Social media marketing. Today we're going to cover social media and some of the marketing tools you can use and some of the marketing strategies you can use with social media. And also, I'm going to talk about how to automate your social media to where as though your ads are, or your posts rather, are being posted automatically without you have, having to do it every time. You just set it up uh, and then you let it go. Your posts are being posted on all different social media outlets without you having to do it each time. So, um, social media is, of course, probably the way most of the people found CNA the CEO, either through Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook, um, or YouTube, obviously. So we're very familiar with social media, and I'm quite sure everyone on the program, this program, is familiar with social media, especially Facebook and Twitter, and LinkedIn and YouTube. Some other ones that you can see here up on the screen are Twitter feed. That's the little yellow one, the little yellow bird with the white lines coming out of his back, and then you have Google Places, and you have Hootsuite is the black bird, the black owl, and those are probably ones you're not so familiar with, but they're just as important. So the first thing we're going to talk about is ads and just buying advertisements on these platforms. Um, what I personally suggest you do when it comes to buying ads and marketing, paid marketing on social media websites is, if you're going to do it, just start and stick with Facebook. They have the easiest platform for setting up, the criteria of the person that you're looking for. So you could just put the age, the location, the zip code, the city. You can't put like race or anything, but you could definitely narrow it down very small to like the type of things that people will be interested in. So like if you're looking for seniors, you could put seniors in a specific zip code, people over 65, um, did like AARP and similar Facebook pages like that. Just kind of get into the things that they're into. You could put all those things into your ad, so your ad goes specifically to those people in your media marketplace. So, and it's very simple to set up. It's very effective. So as long as you have a great ad that kind of talks with your marketing messages in place, you have a phone number or a website that takes them to, um, eventually gets them to a phone number, then that's all you pretty much need. Again, as long as you have a great ad, in your market that targets those that demographic, the seniors, the older people, and not because they're going to necessarily get services themselves, but usually the people who are 65 and older have parents in their 90s, 80s, and stuff like that who will need services. So they're definitely the people who you want to be contacting and marketing to. Twitter ads, I'm not too excited about Twitter's ads. I'm not too excited about Twitter overall. It's just not a great platform for the elder care. It's a good way to get your message out, and you want to be there, but it's nothing I would put too much focus on. Create an account, put it on Twitter feed, and just kind of let it do it, let it just go. It's LinkedIn. That's another ball game. Very important. YouTube, very important. Again, Twitter feed. Uh, I'll show you how to use that. And Google Places is another one that's very important because it actually puts your uh, company on Google Maps. Um, when it comes to what are you going to have in your ads or in on your social media um, outlets, like what are you going to post? What are some of the things you're going to be talking about? That's the content. the content, I mean, it's obvious if you're directing, uh, if you're looking for people with issues with home care or looking for care, elder care for their family or for themselves or their family members, you want to have content that's relative to that, that's consistent with that. You want to talk about um, you. What I do basically is just find different articles. So I like to share articles from AARP, care.com, you know, and just if you Google senior care articles or different websites like that, or elder care articles or elder care news, all the different websites will come up, where you can get some great content and some great articles. You don't want to copy and paste it. You could just link the link in there, and then it'll go and it'll show their link, and it's also better be on your platform. So it'll be a place that, again, families or people who are looking for service, if they see your page and they see the stuff that you're talking about, they're going, okay, yeah, they're pretty savvy, and in the same uh, mindset that we are kind of currently in, with elder care. They have some great articles. They're talking about some good stuff, and then also you don't necessarily want to just do that. You can also do like personalized stuff from your company. So you can kind of just say different things services that you offer, different things that you have going on. Um, you could talk about current cases and things like that, and employee of the week, employee of the month, just different things that's going on in your company as well. You can kind of share that on the post to kind of again, raise your profile and let people get an idea of who you are and what you guys are about. When it comes to the auto post, we like to use Twitter feed. Twitter feed is it's the little yellow bird or orange bird over there in the corner on the left hand side. So what you can do with this is you can take Twitter feed, set up an account, free account, and connect all your sites, all your business sites to Twitter feed, and have what they call RSS feeds coming to all your sites. So, for instance, we might have the Wall Street Journals for seniors, the New York Post seniors, or New York Times seniors, the AARP, uh, and maybe another one. All of these websites constantly post content relative to seniors if you go to the right page on their website. And what you're going to see is the little RSS feed, the RRS logo, and that's just the feed that you plug in to your Twitter feed. And then what happens is every time they post an ad or post an article or something regarding seniors, it's going to come on your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, every time without you even doing it. So you'll just have not ads, I keep saying ads. You'll keep having blog posts and updates on your statuses as often as they post. And some of these places post 4 or 5 times a day. So what this does is it creates a very active Facebook profile, LinkedIn profile, and a Twitter profile for you. And when people visit it, they see, wow, this person just posted, 3 minutes ago, a great article about retirement. Or this person just posted a great article about how to care for seniors in specific circumstances, like in bad weather and safety, and how to deal with legal stuff. And just when you plug into these different websites, they talk about different things. So when you have that stuff coming to your social media outlet, it makes it very interesting for them, for the people who see it, because it's, again, if they're if they're on your website and your website is Caring Angels Home Care Service, they're looking for home care service, and they want to see that you're savvy and can and an expert of some sort in that field. And when you have great articles that they can read as they're kind of surfing around and getting to know your business, they that kind of it adds value. So you definitely want to think about Twitter feed. and it's kind of complex. So just post your questions if you're having problems setting it up, and I'll kind of walk you guys through it if need be. Just if you're having trouble setting it up, just post a question here at the bottom, and we'll help you get set up if you're having problems with that. Business profiles. Most of these websites, well, actually all of these websites besides LinkedIn, no, including LinkedIn, all of them have personal profiles. Obviously, you got your personal Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Um, you can have your own personal, like personal profile, but then you can also have business profiles. A lot of people aren't familiar with that. Most people are familiar with the Facebook aspect of it, a Facebook business page. That's pretty simple. Most people are familiar with those. What most people aren't familiar with is the LinkedIn and the Twitter business pages. You can actually set up business pages with these websites. LinkedIn, you have to find. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it was kind of tricky for us to find. But if you keep poking around on the LinkedIn website, in your private profile, like go to options and settings, it'll give you the the link to set up a business profile. And what you'll be able to do after you set up the business profile, you'll be able to add your employees to your LinkedIn, to your company, your LinkedIn profile. You'll be able to add your employees, add yourself as an employee, add some personal business information. It's a little bit more detailed than the Facebook and Twitter business profile, but it's better because the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter is everybody on LinkedIn is pretty much professional and career orientated, so and business orientated. So it's like what I call Facebook. I say LinkedIn is like the adult version of Facebook because the people who are on LinkedIn aren't really. I mean, they're there to share stuff and network, but they're not networking just to be networking, or they're not just sharing any random post. They're on there to actually look for a job or hire employees or promote their business. So LinkedIn is definitely a little bit more professional than those two. And since we're on the topic of LinkedIn, I guess we could talk a little bit about the power of LinkedIn for two things, and then I'm gonna go back to business profiles for the Google Places. But since we're talking about LinkedIn, I want to cover referral sources. There's a great opportunity on LinkedIn to visit. Like if you Google, say, assisted living facilities in, your county or your city, um, LinkedIn will give you, once you Google it and go search them assisted living facilities in LinkedIn, if they're like up to date and they created their account, what you'll be able to see is the people who work there, and you'll be able to contact them directly through LinkedIn, and that's just a great way to develop referral sources and start building relationships straight from LinkedIn. And what that allows you to do is to let them see your business on LinkedIn as well, because if you contact somebody, obviously they're going to go look at what you do, so and you can even invite them to say, hey, look, check out my LinkedIn business profile. It's in my here's the link. Uh, we're a home care service. We have great rates. We have great caregivers. If you ever, how does one go about working with your agency or your facility to, for us to be, your caregiver, provide caregivers for your facility, and just it's a great way to start the conversation with multiple different referral sources, with not just assisted living facilities, but you can search all the rehab facilities in your area, the nursing homes and stuff like that, and contact the people who work there, because they're usually, if again the company's kind of up to date and they're serious about their business, they'll have a LinkedIn profile, and that'll give you an opportunity to reach out to them. And another great thing that you could do on LinkedIn is hire caregivers. I really like when I see caregivers on LinkedIn who took the time to create their own, profile. Even though they're just a caregiver, I'm not gonna say just a caregiver. Even though they're a caregiver, you don't see people really going that far about, their their career or their job. So when I find them on there, I can put like, okay, my city, and I search all the caregivers in my city, and then I can send them requests and inbox them and stuff like that about positions. Say, hey, I checked out your profile on LinkedIn. It seemed like you had some pretty good uh, positions as a caregiver. You worked at some places that I'm familiar with. See, you're still looking, or maybe you're working for somewhere else. Are you interested in more shifts? And and you can kind of reach out like that and start creating opportunities for new caregivers. And I feel like, again, that the caregivers who take the time to create profiles for themselves are, just a little bit further along than your average caregiver who wouldn't do that or who doesn't even know about that. So I do see that as a plus when I see caregivers with LinkedIn pages, and I definitely reach out to them, or we reach out to them to find more caregivers. Because once you get started, and once some clients start coming in, one of the big the biggest problem for us isn't finding clients; it's finding caregivers, and that's the crazy thing. Because you would think that it'd be harder to find clients, but the reality of it is, in the market that we're in, the industry, the way the industry is going, that there's just going to be a shortage of caregivers. So it makes us always in demand, and it's a good thing. But you want to be able to find great caregivers, and LinkedIn is definitely a way to help us find great caregivers. Google Places. Back to business profiles. Google Places allows you to basically put your company in the Google Maps. So when people search home care services or elder care services, when you search anything in Google, it gives you the list below, but then it gives you the map of where everything is at. And it depends what type of device you're on, whether you're on a computer, a phone, or a tablet. It shows up in different places, but it's usually the same stuff that's going to be on there. And the map is always one of those things. So when families Google home care service, say home care service Mississippi, or they might say something more specific. Uh, home care service, what's the city? Atlanta. Home care service Atlanta. The first thing that's going to come up is all the home care services in Atlanta that actually register with Google Places. So you definitely want to be on that list. The next people that you're going to see are the people who are advertising on Google, and then the third people you are going to see. It could either be the videos of home care service, just or whatever videos are connected to that search, and then the organic searches, the people who actually didn't pay for ads but are like the top 3 or 4 after the ads are on Google that you can click on. So Google Places is very important to set up a Google Places profile. And what they're going to do is, once you go to Google Places, you register for an account, they're going to verify your address. So whatever address you're going to use, whether it's going to be a virtual office, whether it's going to be a home office, or you can't use a PO box. They're going to send you a card with a number on there that you're going to have to plug into the website, and they're just making sure that that's your address. So they're going to mail you a card with a little code, and then you punch that code into the website once you get it, and then it locks your slot in as a home care service in that particular address. So and finally, Hootsuite. Hootsuite is similar to Twitter feed, but you can actually manually control it. So if I have a message that I want to put out there on all my platforms, I could just go to Hootsuite, link them all together, and then push the button one time. So if I say, hey, good morning, good morning from Just Caring Hands Home Health Services. We want to wish everybody a happy Friday. So I'll put that in Hootsuite, push send, and it'll come out on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all these other places because I just linked it to that. And it saves you time from having to go to Facebook and post it, Twitter to post it, Instagram and post it. I mean, and then there's other stuff like Pinterest and all the other stuff. We don't really get into that, but there is value there. And if you deal with it on a personal level, it's no excuse why you shouldn't have it on a business level. So, any other websites or social media outlets that you're using that I haven't mentioned here, feel free to reach out and see if they have a business profile that you can set up as well. And I guess we didn't mention YouTube. And you definitely want to have a YouTube channel. And why would you want to have a YouTube channel? Because you could always make little videos and little slides and stuff like that and just throw them on there. And again, this helps when people search your or when they search home care specifically in your location, what they call geo-targeted searches. So that's just geographical searches that's targeted in certain locations. So if I put home care service, that's not geo-targeted. So that's not geographically targeted to one place. That's home care services all over the world, all over the internet. But if I put home care service Annapolis, Maryland, now it's geo-targeted. And if I use my Google Places, my home care service should come up. And then also with the power of YouTube, you can geo target your videos, and we'll talk about that a little later. But and under what we call internet bandit signs, and we're going to cover that in the next module, or the online marketing module. But YouTube is just basically you can put videos up there and talk about your company, and kind of walk people through different scenarios, and just kind of talk about what you're doing as a home care agency. Video is important. It's a strong platform. Obviously, YouTube is a strong platform, and the more places you're in, the more places people can find you, the better chances they will find you. So, the more, the better. But the thing is, you don't want to get so spread out that you have to manually push all of these things. It'll take you all day if you don't have this stuff in the system where you can like push one button and get it done. So that's why if you do set up this stuff, you definitely want to use the Hootsuite, which is the owl with the eyes here, and then the Twitter feed to have it going automatically. So set it up, create your system, and link them all together, and just kind of remember that very important thing for me is the Google Places. And if you're going to run ads, again, feel free to ask us any question that you may have. But we just kind of stick with Facebook for the ads. And I hope you guys learned a lot in this module, and we'll be available for questions. So just post them at the bottom, and we'll talk to you on the next one.